Hey, this is Mo Lunsford at Union Grove Lumber Studios.
And this is the Shed Geek. We want to welcome you to today's episode.
Okay, guys, welcome back. Thanks so much for listening. This is part 2 of the episode with Chris Pittman, Pittman Academy and Shed University. If you want to catch the beginning of this episode, just go back and listen to Wednesday's episode the day before. But stay tuned. Here is part 2. I want to talk about, I ran into something recently, and I'm curious your thoughts. I was in Kentucky, and I ran into somebody who said they actually graduated with a sales degree. It's the first time I've heard this happen yet. It seems like maybe, traditional education and universities getting into, seeing the sales profession as more of a profession now, where it's always kind of been like this diminished, lower than, less than, oh, you're just in sales, or you're a salesperson. It's grimy. It's whatever. But there is some change that you're starting to see. What do you think as a professional sales developer? Are you going to see more of that? Do you feel like the Pittman Academy, the Shed University, those are the trainings in our little field, or whatever, if you will, in our little niche of the world? But do you think you'll see more of that? Because most people land in sales. They don't start there.
Yeah. Well, 1,000%. And I'll tell you why. I think I'm not against the educational system. I'm not against college. I think if people want to go there, if they want to have a trade, or they want to be a lawyer or doctor or whatever, I mean, that's cool. That's fine. I think if you don't want to be any of those things, I don't necessarily think you have to go to college. And I think that's why we'll see more people coming into sales on their own, not landing there because of whatever happened. It's because of the opportunities that those bring out, because it's you depending on yourself, because there's so much training going out there now, because people start viewing it more as an art, because they know it's a process. So anybody can learn it, right? No one's necessarily just born a salesperson. I do believe that some people are a little bit more charismatic than others. Some are introverts, some are extroverts. I do believe that, but I've seen before. I think I'm an extrovert, but I've seen an introvert outsell me. I mean, this was before, but I was like, how? I'm over here just listening to them and at my desk, and they're at their desk. I'm taking notes. I'm like, what is going on? Because they're the shyest person. They don't talk to nobody. They're antisocial, but they get on the phone, and I'm like, what is going on, right? And that's when I started learning. It's an art, man. It's a skill. It's something that's developed. I could talk to someone all day and not sell them. Rather, if I just follow a process, I'll be able to sell them because I'm servicing someone. So yes, to answer your question, I foresee a lot more people coming into the sales role on their own. I see a lot more colleges and educational systems implementing things like that. I started to, people started reaching out to me to say, hey, man, can you run something like that for us? Because it's just it's so needed. Okay. And what I always tell people, just in case that they're wondering about my sales process and my sales training, we go through processes, and we go through scripts and strategies, and obviously role play, and we get you down right. And we always say this. My team always says this. It doesn't mean that you have to say everything that we say verbatim. It means that we want you to understand why we're saying what we're saying. We don't want you to skip a step. We want you to service someone. We don't want you to get nervous or lost about what to say on the phone when somebody calls in, or you make a cold call, or where you have somebody walk onto your lot, or when somebody's saying no, or when you're giving someone an agreement and they want to walk away, or when somebody's getting frustrated with you. There's systems and strategies for all that. And as long as you know what they are, and you understand those fully, then you'll be able to use your own lingo to do that. But having the process is the hardest part. That's where we come in.
I love it. And you mentioned role play in there, and they might not be able to see it, but I wrote it down. It's there. I promise.
Believe you.
Role play is so uncomfortable for so many people. Why is role play so important, though?
Okay, so several reasons. I'll give you one reason, and it'll sum it up. If you role play with your peers and your coworkers, it'll cost you zero, maybe just some of your little ego getting hurt because you're getting embarrassed. If you role play with your clients, it'll cost you your future. I'll say that again. If you play with yourself or with your coworkers, okay, it'll cost you your ego being hurt because you're going to get embarrassed or whatever that is. I don't know why that's so important. Okay, I don't think it's that important. But if you role play with your clients, meaning that you've never role played before, so the first time that you're going to use this with your clients, that's going to cost you your future, because you're going to lose a ton of deals, a ton of opportunities. And then what that starts to do to you as a salesperson is you start to doubt your abilities. You start to doubt the company you're working for. You'll start to doubt the lead flow you're coming in. And then you start to throw a little hissy fit. And then you come home, you're like, oh man, this isn't working for me. I need to go look for another job. So while you're looking for another job and you're waiting for the interviews, you're still showing up, trying to get something, but you're not really fully engaged, right? The list goes on, domino effect. It's all because of role play. And me personally, man, I'm that guy that you're describing. I'm the guy that I'm describing. I was I'm not going to role play because people are going to laugh at me because my ego is going to get hurt because I'm not that good. But that's what it is. It's nothing. It's all made up. And the reason why we hate to role play is because we are not as good as we think we are. I'll say that again so you can see. The reason why we don't role play is because everyone calls themselves a big shot, but they're never as good as they think they are, and they're about to expose themselves, and that's why they hate role play.
What do you do? Am I going to put you on the spot if I say, Chris, let's do a quick role play real quick? What would that look like?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it. Let's go. Like, how would we do this?
Let's do it. Yeah. So look, it's obviously not planned. You're over here trying to put me on the spot. I'm nervous like every other salesman, but I'm trained. So let's go. Whatever you want to give me, let's go. Let's do it. So if you want to give me an objection, whatever you want to tell me, let's go. And I'll explain why I do what I do.
So let's go with a similar. Well, let's just go with a shed. Let's just make it real simple. I know how many times you've role played. So especially in like with sheds and like people with sheds. So let's give it its best. I'm going to give you objections. How's that sound?
Let's go. Let's do it.
So sell me a shed.
Oh, so you want me to take you through the process?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you.
Yeah. So that's fine. So let's make a scenario. I thought that you were just going to give me an objection. I was going to overcome the objection. But if you want to do like a whole little sales process, we could do that. So the sales process. So I can tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with like the greeting. Obviously, if we're going to do the whole process, and then I'll take it into fact finding. Okay, fact finding. I break it down into two different sections: logical and emotional. But for example, are you going to be a lot up? Am I going to call you over the phone? Are you inbounding? I mean, what is it?
I'd say we're doing by phone.
Okay, so I'll call you, or you call me.
I'll tell you what, I'll call you. This is fun. I'm having fun already. I don't know why people think this isn't fun.
Man, have fun, man. Have fun. I think everybody's having fun but me. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay. So you'll call me, ring. I'm gonna pick up the phone. Okay. So
at iFab LLC, our passion is welding, fabricating, and design. That's why in 2015, we began to commercially market our product to the shed, portable building, and mini barn industry. Our product is primarily used to build trusses. Our truss saw system cuts boards in one motion, and our truss press system installs and presses the gusset plates to a finished truss. We custom fabricate jigs that assure perfectly symmetrical truss setup without error. We also have other products designed to help your shed builder increase quality, efficiency, and save money. Our precision door tape will build your custom doors square every time and easily adjust to build any door. For products like these or other custom fabrication services for your barn shop, visit ifabllc.com or call 563-422-7496 or simply email us at ifabllc@gmail.com.
Here we go. Okay. Hey, thanks for calling Shed Geek. My name is Chris. What information can I get for you today?
Well, I was driving down the road and I saw your sheds out there. There's like a gray and white shed out there, and me and my wife have been looking for something. What's the price on that?
Perfect. I believe I know the exact shed that you're talking about. Now, in order for me to get you all the information that you're looking for, that's my real intention, to be sure that I get you everything you're looking for so you can make an easier decision. And since you want the price, I want to send that over to you. In order for me to do that, just what's your full name, sir?
Shannon Latham.
I love that. Okay, cool, man. I love the last name. And then what's the best email for me to be able to send you over all this information?
Just do info@shedgeek.com.
I love it. Okay. And then in case of our line being disconnected, what's the best number to me to reach you back at?
618-867-5309.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we do have the white and gray shed out there. And if I'm not mistaken, the sizing of it, I might be a little bit confused. Were you able to actually come onto our lot and take a look at it?
No, we just saw it from the road.
Okay, perfect. Is this going to be one of the first sheds you're ever going to buy, or are you looking to upgrade or downsize from one that you currently have?
This is the first time we've ever bought one. We just moved here.
Hey man, I love it. So welcome to the community, first of all. And man, you will have a great time getting the shed with us. I'll tell you that. Okay. Now, what's going to be the main use for you guys for the shed?
We really just need something to put our mower in. Nothing too important. Just something cheap, something simple.
Mower. No, absolutely love it. So mowers, typically when someone has a shed, they buy it for one reason, just like you are. And then things start coming into mind. So people start putting 2 to 3 categories into that shed. So if you could think of a second or third one that you might want to put into that, obviously is not sure, but what would that second or third option look like for you? Would it be seasonal boxes around the house, bicycles?
Probably just storage. I think we'll just use it for Christmas storage and probably somewhere to put the mower.
Got it. I love that. In the case that, well, right now you don't have that, where is the mower and where are the Christmas stuff at? Where are those located?
Oh, well, it's just in the garage and we can't get the car in the garage.
How many cars do you have? 2. And both of them you can't get in the garage?
No, we can only get one in there. And my wife's really mad because she wants to put hers in there.
No, hey man, like if your wife is anything like mine, then I know what you're going through, brother. Hey, I'm gonna help you out today. No worry about that. Okay. What's the time frame that you're thinking about? Is this something that you should have done yesterday? It kind of sounds like, or is this something that you still kind of want to push off for maybe like a month or 2?
Oh well, we're in no hurry.
No hurry. Okay. In the scenario, Shannon, that we do find something that makes sense for you, I know that you're in no hurry. Would it be something that you would consider to possibly even put in tomorrow if it came down to it?
Yeah, I think if the price is right, we could do that.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of things are contingent on price. No worries at all. Is your wife going to be involved in making a decision with you, or is it just going to be you making the decision on this?
It'll be me and her.
You and her, okay. Now, if you're calling me, and like I said, if your wife is anything like mine, then you're probably calling me because she's already upset, and you guys got to get this over with as fast as you can, and she's kind of leaning on you to make the decision, correct?
Yeah, she saw the shed, so she's like, it's just time to get something.
Absolutely. So if you're on board with the shed, the size, and the price, then she'll probably be on board with it too?
I think so.
Okay. And then I do want to show you some options, but before we do that, man, is there any other challenges that you're facing by not having the shed?
No, not really. We just looking for something cheap and simple.
Love it. And then in the case, I know that we will find you something. In the case that we don't, or we don't move forward with anything at all, what happens? Is this something that you foresee yourself still doing a year down the line if you didn't do anything today, or maybe 2 years down the line?
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get something eventually.
Got it. Okay. What's your preferred method of payment when you purchase something like this?
Well, we kind of need some payment options. We're not sure that we can pay for it outright.
Perfect. So you want to finance, or maybe put on a credit card, or do 90 days same as cash? We kind of have those things. Which one do you think that you're leaning more towards on? I'll show you all of them. I just want to know what you're most comfortable with.
Probably finance.
Finance. I love that. Okay. Are you thinking 12, 24, 36 months? What are you thinking?
I think it just depends on the price.
Okay. Which actually brings me to my next question, Shannon. How much? Because I know you have an idea. Because that's all we're talking about right now. What's the number that you're thinking about paying for a shed like this?
Well, we didn't see. We went down the road to like the competition, and they wanted like 6,000. So we were wanting something like way cheaper than that. We were thinking like maybe 4,000.
Okay, up to what?
5,000.
Okay. I want to be considerate with where you are. So what's the number that you do not want to exceed?
I think we should stay under 5,000.
So 5,000. Okay. Just a quick question here. If I find you something that's $5,200 and it makes sense, is that something I could still show you, or I shouldn't show you that at all?
No, we could still take a look at it.
Okay, cool. Okay. Now I'll get into A, B, or C. I'll show you the buildings. So this is where I'm going to stop. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what I did. Typically here, what you might have said, right, if this was a more real live situation, is that you're going to want to continue to talk about the gray and white building, and you want to continue to just get a price on the gray and white building. And all I'm going to do is get you back to the questions I just asked you, because they're all super important. What I needed, like I told you, I don't want to sell you the gray and white building. I want to service you. I want to figure out what you need. I found out a lot of problems here. So you're new to the community. You just got a new home. You have a mower that's probably getting wet, or so, and I'm gonna hit on that in a second. kitchen. You have Christmas storage that you're going to put in there. You have 2 cars. One of them can't go into the garage. I'm going to get problems on that, right? I know that you are going to be the decision maker contingent off price. I know what price range you want to be in, so your wife is not going to have anything bad to say about this anymore, right? I've done so many things. I know what payment options to show you when I show you that. So now when I demonstrate and buildings to you, I'm going to show you buildings that I know that you're going to buy, and I'm going to show you buildings that I know are going to make sense in size, and values and things that you need, etc. Because you're within a frame. That's the process. Now, what someone else would do, and someone probably sees, like seeing this is going to say, man, but that's a lot of questions that he just asked. Cool. But then this is scenario B, what a lot of people do. Oh yeah, hey, you like the gray white building? Hey, yeah, give me a second. I'm looking for it on my computer here. Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's a 10 by 12. Yeah, hey, look, it's gonna be $5,000. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, where do you live? So I can write you up a quote, and I can see if you're gonna have to pay the delivery fee, setup fee, da. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's gonna cost you $5,200. I send it to your email. Can you open it up? Yeah. Okay, cool. Can you sign that right now? No, man.
Yeah, there's no discovery, right? There's no discovery.
And you have no ammo to follow up. You have no ammo to help them to make a decision. You have no idea what price range they were even looking at getting. You have no idea what's going on. And that's what happens in the shed world. A lot of people are just order takers. Right. So if we do this the other route, okay, I'll show you. So let's do this fast. So you say gray and white building. I'm gonna say perfect. Yeah. Hey, look, the price on that building is $5,700. Now you say, what are you gonna say?
Oh, it's too much.
Okay. Well, I could find you another building. Can you kind of tell me what you need it for?
Well, I guess just for some like tools and lawnmower and stuff.
Okay, because that building out there, it's 10 by 14. I could get you something like 8 by 8 that could still fit the mower into it, and I can make it gray and white for you. Is that something that you will want me to show you and send you over as a quote?
Will that be cheaper?
Yeah. It'll be a lot cheaper. So, and then also, I mean, we could take out some windows if you don't really need the windows. Just kind of make it basic for you, and then it'll make it a lot cheaper. But yeah, if you're looking just to get a building that's cheaper, I could do that for you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
And we know
I'll send it over to you.
And we know that it doesn't go this way all the time, right? Like I'm being a fairly pleasant customer.
Exactly what I'm saying. But the point that I'm saying is I'm gonna send you over the 8 by 8. I know you want something cheap, but I don't know if that's something you need. I don't know if you have values attached to it. I don't know if you're gonna put your mower or something else into it. I don't know if you're making the decision on it. I don't know if your wife needs to be on board. I don't know what your money frame is looking like. I don't know what payment option you want to look forward to. I don't know a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah, without asking questions, you just can't discover like really why the customer's there, what they need, what the true intentions are. I know how it works for me, right? Like typically you show up to like a car lot and like the husband's like got his hands on his wallet, right? And you're working out this thing between you and your wife because you're like, we need to make sure we're in sync because we're supposed to be a team against them. And it's almost like, hey, who's going to do the talking? Let me talk to them. I'll do the talking. And like, I just need you to back me up on this thing because it's like they're preparing for a battle. Like, oh no, this salesperson might sell me something I need when that's what I'm here for. But they're already creating all their objections, like whenever they're showing up and their plans. Yeah. So they don't want to So I know that I'm being fairly pleasant, and that's not the way all interactions go. But yeah, the price objection is almost imminent. Like in every conversation I've been in, there's very few times the customer doesn't come in and start asking for the price right off the bat because they're already selling the process in their head, right, as they're pulling up.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dylan from the Shed Geek marketing team, and I want to address a common misconception about marketing. Often people approach us for just one service, like social media management, where we plan and schedule your monthly posts. While this is a valuable time saver, it's just one piece of your complete marketing strategy, much like a shed with its various components. Let's simplify it. Think of your social media channels and Google My Business as the foundation, similar to the runners of a shed. They support your digital storefront, your website, which is like the floor joists and band boards. To enhance your marketing, you'll need tools like Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, and Google Tags, which are like the walls. These tools help track the success of your campaigns, measuring form submissions, 3D shed creations, and phone calls generated by our ads. Now, let's talk about the roof. Meta and Google ad campaigns. These are the top layers that complete your marketing shed. While you may inquire about one specific service, remember, they all contribute to the overall structure of your marketing strategy. At Shed Geek Marketing, we're happy to work on one individual aspect, but our goal is to build a comprehensive marketing shed that will truly stand out in the digital landscape. If you're ready to talk about your marketing strategy that will take your shed business to the next level, just go to shedgeek.com and fill out a submission form or contact the Shed Geek for more information.
Yeah, or they pull up to the lot, right? Because so we did a call, which is a lot different, but they're pulling up to the lot, and then you approach them outside. The first thing that they say, it's what? Hey man, I'm just looking, man. I'm browsing. I don't need any help. Right? Just leave me alone, man. If I need you, you have a card, right? And what do? Yeah, hey, so here's my brochure. Here's my card stapled onto it. I'll be inside or I'll be roaming around just in case you need any help, right? And then what happens? And that's one of those stalls that people don't know how to overcome, right? I mean, someone comes to me and tells me, hey, like, man, I'm just looking. I'm saying, dude, absolutely. 100% of everyone that comes here is just looking. To be sure that I help you look in the right direction, let me ask you. I'm asking my first question is, are you looking for your first building ever? Are you looking to upgrade from one that you have? Or are you looking to downsize? See, I automatically get into it.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look, I'm actually looking for my son, or I'm looking for my mother, or I'm looking forever. Great, man. I can't tell you how many people come in here looking for someone else. Now, to be sure that you use your time wisely and you get the right information you're looking for, is this going to be the first building for your mom or your son? Or are they looking to upgrade from one that they currently have? And the reason why I use that is because one thing that we teach is that whenever you're talking about the spouse for the most time or somebody else, it's a scapegoat, meaning people just use that to not have to talk to you. So they're using someone else to say, hey, they're not here with me right now, so you can't really help me because they're not here. But what I do is I use the scapegoat for my advantage. So I say, cool, right? So I say, I speak to them through the scapegoat.
Just the fact that you're using, like, to me, the professional sales language, like it's a stall. Like understanding what a stall is, and then understanding what an objection is, because like if you're developing yourself professionally, you need to understand, right, that whenever they say, oh man, I'm just looking around, that it's a stall, right? It's not an objection. Those are two different things.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I just feel like that's why professional sales development helps so much more, is because it's not like you have those things necessarily in the back of your head where you're like, oh, this is a stall. You don't speak that way to yourself internally in your mind as this is happening. Instead, you just perfect a process. It's if you were a painter, you wouldn't think about every brush stroke, or if you were a mechanic, you wouldn't think about every little detail of what you're doing. It just becomes part of your natural language in your craft.
Exactly. And to what you're saying, and in case someone doesn't understand what you just said by a stall or an objection, because I get that asked a lot too. I view them as three different things. So there's a stall, there's a complaint, and then there's an objection. A stall is to postpone the sale. It just means that they want to prevent you, the salesperson, from moving forward. That's not going to stop you from selling the deal. They just want to prevent it from happening. A complaint is when they're unsatisfied with something that they heard. It's up to you to figure out what they're unsatisfied with. Money could be a reason why they're unsatisfied, right? Either they don't make enough, or they like the building, but it's too much, or they can't make sense of it. That could be a complaint, but it might not even stop them from moving forward with the deal. That's what people don't understand. An objection is when you, the salesperson, you validate what they're saying. I'll give you an example. In my lifestyle, I am not like the macho man at all. My wife and I, we walk side by side, and I can make a decision without her, and she can make a decision without me intentionally. Okay, because I know that before I buy anything, I've probably mentioned it to her already. If she had a problem with it, she would have told me about it. Vice versa. My wife says, hey, I think I want to get this for the baby, and it's a big ticket item. But she kind of expressed it to me. If I didn't express any ill feeling about it, she's probably going to get it when it shows up. She'll say, well, we talked about it. Okay, cool. Right. That's intentional, because I don't want to validate that when I hear that over the phone. If someone tells me, hey, I got to speak to my spouse, there's two ways I could do it. Right. One, I could agree with them. That's validating. I could say, yeah, hey, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, man, like I don't want to cause problems within your marriage and whatever. And then it might not even be true. So you just validated it. You agreed with them. So now the spouse is the reason why you're not moving forward.
Yeah, you won't be able to move forward either, right? Because until she's there, you can't really have that conversation now.
Exactly. Exactly. Where in my case, what I'll say, because this is the way I live, right? I'll say, I'll agree with them, and to an extent, right? I'll say, hey, Shannon, absolutely, man. Look, if your wife needs to know exactly what you're doing, I wouldn't want you to sign this deal without her knowing what's going on. Okay. Before you do go talk to your wife, because there's different ways that you could talk to her, I want to know, are you gonna talk to her about the price, because that might be an issue, or are you gonna talk to her about the product, because that could be an issue? Which one does not make sense to her, or which one do you think is not gonna make sense to her? And then you're gonna say the price, right? And then I'm gonna say, okay, cool. Is there anything other than the price? And you're gonna say no. So I know that that's also a problem for you. But I'm gonna use her to get to you. So I'm gonna say, okay, perfect. So where would your wife need to see the numbers so that 100% it makes sense that, she'll be like, yeah, just sign the deal. Like, where does it need to be? And then all of a sudden she'll be like, honestly, I think just like $600 cheaper, and she won't complain about it. It's not really hurts you, right? But I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say, cool. Okay. Right. And then I'm going to say, cool, I'm going to write $600 on their agreement. If they're in front of me, turn around, write $600. And I'm going to say, okay, cool. Based off the values, right? See, like this is what I said, A, B, or C, get the values. Hey, the reason why it's $600 or it's added here, it's because you're getting all the values you want, like A, B, or C, or whatever. And then I'm going to say, one thing I know about someone purchasing something, you should never sacrifice your values when buying something. That's the only reason why people have buyer's remorse, because then you're going to buy something based off price today, and then you're going to take it home 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. Everything that you're going to be saying is, I should have gotten that. So I don't want to sacrifice that today. So the 8 things, right, that you're getting, that you value is $600. I got my calculator. So 600 divided by 8, you're literally paying $75 for each of those things. So I want to ask you before we move forward, do those things that you value, are those worth $75?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Now, in the case our role play, right? See, this is why I asked about the financing, and you said probably like 24 months or whatever, or 12 months, whatever it was, right? I would just say, hey, look, so 600 divided by 24 months, it's $25 a month. So let me ask you, would your wife be upset with you moving forward with something that you need, that has all your values, that's only going to cost you $25 a month?
Obvious answer is no. Obvious answer is she's good with it. Because you got to where he's trying to get anyway. He's just using his wife as the stall to get to the price point that he's looking for. I love it. And then I would say, I agree with you. Now, look, this is what we should do. Let's move forward with the deal today. You'll have 24 hours, right, to tell your wife, hey, like, we move forward with it. If something happens, just let me know. We'll rip up the deal. Or if a month happens and you need $25, I'll give you $25 for that month. How does that sound? Because it's so little, right? They'll be like, okay, cool. You signed the deal. That's an art. And that's to the spouse. This is the beauty of like professional sales development. Just having these questions. And these are the things that you do with teams regularly, correct?
Correct.
This is why things like Shed You are so relevant to, just to be able to do that. This is going to be 2 shows. There's no way I can't like just break this up and do 2 shows out of this. It's so valuable, and I don't want to waste your time. And I don't think it's wasting your time, as I think you're adding a lot of value. We just only talked about an hour, but.
Hello, Shed Sellers. Did you catch the latest Real Work Labs interview with George Converse? If not, don't miss this value-packed episode. Head to Shed Geeks Podcast YouTube and search Real Work Labs. George and the Real Work Labs crew are riding the wave of Google's latest updates, taking your digital presence to the next level. We're tech artisans, crafting your neighborhood brand voice for shed sellers like you to stand out, gain trust, and get found online. Our software will easily capture your work snapshots, videos, weave your craft's story, and get reviews all in one virtual experience. Our innovation goes beyond getting found for your business location, rather getting found for your work locations. Reviews intertwine with their corresponding job sites. When potential customers seek local expertise, you're the proven solution they'll find. It's high time to map your reviews and showcase your beautiful work in a meaningful way that builds trust in customers' neighborhoods. Ready for the journey? Visit shedgeek.realworklabs.com or call George today. at 480-787-7575. Real Work Labs, elevating your trust, increasing your conversions, and getting you found where you work in the neighborhoods you serve, one shed at a time. Mentors. You talked about mentors. Like, how important is it to continue to have mentors even as you're developing?
Everything, man. I think that you also mentioned it by when you were talking about where do you get your resources from, like just a paper in the US or outside of, like a different perspective. I I wouldn't also say, hey man, like get a lot of mentors, but if you know that someone is where you want to be and you have access to them, or you could get access to them, that could save you a lot of time. So like, for example, me, I've had mentors in my life where I'm like, wow, like I love where you are. I love how you communicate. I love how you are with your family. I'm a big family guy. Like, I don't know if you know that or not. I think you know that. I think you are too. But I am a big family guy. So like a lot of my mentors are people who are big family guys, who want the best for their family, who work hard for their family. So I approach some of the mentors. I paid to be in mentorships, so a lot of money, so I could figure out the mistakes that they did, so I don't have to do that anymore, and figure out where they invest their time, so I can invest my time there, figure out how they think, so I can think the same way. Because I believe that the people that you get to interact with are the person that you can become, right? So like if I'm interacting with, a lot of people that are on the street, probably doing drugs, even though I don't do drugs, right? I think it could be a matter of time before I try it the first time, and then, because I'm just there so much. So I think the same thing, vice versa. If I'm interacting with people who are highly successful, who are thinking different, who are doing different things, to me that becomes a normal way of thinking. So I start acting and doing things that they do that got them their success, that will eventually get me my success. So mentorship is super important. That's why I said, again, with any business owner or individual here that's listening, you figure out, the best investment that you'll always make is to yourself and to your team. Always. Right? Because no one can take it away from you. So if you're afraid to invest for whatever reason, then I would say rethink that, because that's what money is for.
Man, I've asked some of the largest names or people that I've just kind of, even if I didn't aspire to be like them, I appreciated their success in this industry. And I've had a chance to interview so many of them. And I always ask them the questions, definitely, whenever no one's around. I'm like, what does it mean now? Like at this level of success, or like, what does it mean? What's your focus? How did you get here? Like you said, you're paying for their failures. You're literally, like whenever you try to hang around with them or ask questions or interview them, or someone's paying for your services, you're essentially paying for their failures as the building blocks that's helped make them successful. So like, you're getting the cheat code, if you will. Hey, don't go down this route, go this route. But almost all of them, it's very rare that they won't talk about their team. I've not found too many successful people who won't talk about their team, and how there's an intense focus on their team, how the success in sales begin to dwindle the more successful you get. It's like, it's not about the money, right? That's easy to say, like once you've acquired money, but the reality is, it's like whenever someone doesn't covet money, it seems they get more of it, right? Like if they don't value good health, they seem to have it. That's why we always say the good die young, right? It's always, you know what I mean? It's always like, wow, what the heck? The people who don't value the things get the things because the things don't matter as much to them. But whenever it seems like you're chasing that so hard, that level of success, it's harder to find because you're so focused on it that you're not paying attention to all that's around you. And I think about that with like musicians, that like, hey, we don't even have to play tours anymore. We play because we love the music. We play for the fans. It's the same way with any successful GM I've ever been around. They're like, it's about the people. It's really about the people at this point. It's not about me or some kind of like thing I'm trying to like, please within myself because I've received this level of success. It's really about pouring back into the team and the people. This is great. we're going to end it, but I'm going to do the same thing that I do, Chris. No, like if you've got more to share.
Sorry, I just want to say one thing based on what you said, but don't lose your thought. It's super fast. It's what you're saying, and I agree. It's now when you reach a certain success, your success now becomes that the people around you can be successful. That's how you determine if you're successful or not. So that's what you're saying. That's how I understood it. That's how I think too. And that's what I meant when I said in the beginning, if I fail, that means that my family isn't going to be successful. So I don't view my success as what I've done or what I've been able to do or the money I'm able to generate. I view it as, man, are the people around me are they winning? Are they succeeding? Am I being an example for them now? Are they going to want to push harder in their life? And one thing I always say now, it's like my baby Leah, I always say, like, I can't tell my baby to go out there and live out her dreams and work hard and do that if she didn't see me do that. Like, I would just think, me personally, my opinion, that would be a hypocrite to do that. But if she sees me doing it differently, right? If I'm an example, if I've done so much, if I've been able to help so many people, right? And then I tell her that, I think that she'll take it with a different understanding and with a different belief, and she'll go out there and do that. So sorry, that's all. I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're good.
Interject.
You're good.
So I don't want to add that. And then,
I could be quiet and just let you talk for another 20 minutes, and I would thoroughly enjoy it. And I believe the audience would too. I think this is why it's terribly important to be at the Garage Shed Carport Builder Show, to access the Shed University platform, to kind of use it what it is. That's why it exists. It exists for the purpose of trying to develop us all. Yeah. And we say, well, I don't know. I don't want my competition to know. You can't stop your competition. You can only concentrate on you. To me, and we've used the phrase, a rising tide lifts all boats on the podcast for a long time. And we've used it for the purpose of embracing both collaboration and competition. Collaboration breeds success. I believe that working together, networking, creates some really unique moments, but also believe that competition makes us better. Chris, the better you do, the more I go, man, that's really good. It's going to elevate me to want to go to a new level too myself. So instead of me saying, let me burn his candle out, let me, like, now we both have less light whenever I start to burn your candle out. Whereas if I burn mine brighter and then you come back with something brighter, next thing you know, we're both able to see better. And because of that, that's literally why a rising tide does lift all boats. The rest of the stuff is fantasy. If we're like, oh no, it's going to be perfect, play out this way, and I'm going to be able to limit all those around me, so I have this certain level of success, and no one's ever going to invest in themselves, invest in training, invest in trying to do better, read more books, go to more seminars, listen to more, sales speeches, whatever it is. If it's construction, they should be bettering themselves in the construction. Why aren't you going to the Shed Expo? Why aren't you learning more about this? If it's about shed hauling, like, you're a shed hauler and you don't go to the shed hauling events? Why not? Like, for me, yeah. I mean, my mind goes to, it's very simple. Like, I want to be there because I want to know, because I want to acquire as much knowledge as possible, because a more informed person will make a better decision. The more knowledge you have, the better decision you have to make. And sometimes that decision is, I'm not going to move forward there, or I'm not going to do that because of what I've seen or felt or believed or experienced. So I never want to shut down education.
The shed industry is comprised of a diverse group of companies, but also a diverse group of shed sellers. Proven sales processes are the backbone of successful businesses, and their effectiveness cannot be overstated. At ShedU, our processes provide a structured framework that guides the shed sales professional through the various stages of the sales cycle, ensuring consistency and efficiency. By following a proven process, shed salespeople can better understand their customers' needs, build trust, and tailor their approach accordingly. Additionally, these processes are developed based on years of experience and extensive market research, incorporating best practices and strategies that have yielded positive results. Your Sheducation from Shed University will not only minimize guesswork, but also maximize the chances of closing deals and achieving sales targets. Our proven shed sales process will empower you or your shed sales team to work smarter, not harder, and lead to increased productivity, customer satisfaction, and business growth. It's time to take the guesswork out of your shed sales process. Invest in yourself and your team when you attend class at Shed University. Don't be tardy. Book your ticket now at sheduniversity.com for this year's session on January 23rd and 24th at the Knoxville Convention Center, just before the GSCB show. At Shed University, class is now in session.
And that's kind of why the purpose of the podcast is what it is. It's a communicative tool and it's an education tool. And I always want to keep it that way. I just have to do all this other work to kind of fuel my passion or fund my passion.
Yeah, I get you, man. But again, I know we're ending it here. Thank you, man, for the opportunity.
I got one more. I got one more thing. One more thing.
I got one more. Okay, let's do it.
I always give everybody the opportunity, or I have been here lately, giving the last several shows, people the opportunity to turn the microphone around and to become the host for a moment, if you will. And you may not have any questions, or maybe you will, to just kind of ask me any questions, whether it's shed related, podcast related, whatever comes to your mind, whatever you might think it would be interesting to find out. You get to be the host for 1, 2, 3 questions, whatever you want to do, ask away, complete transparency.
Okay. Put me on a spot here, but yes, I do want to ask a question. The first question I want to ask is this. It's, what do you think, if you had to do one thing, just one thing different for every shed company in the world, manufacturer, just one thing different, what's that one thing that these companies or business owners or manufacturers or shed or sales representatives, what's the one thing in common that they would have to do to see more success moving forward?
Oh, pretty one thing would be education. I mean, I maybe answered my question prematurely before I gave you the mic, but honestly, I think education, it's so synonymous with communication, because I believe that communication can heal the world. I'm just naive enough to think that proper communication could stop wars. It could end hunger. I think that it could do so much. And I don't think that we communicate well. So hence me using a podcast, right? Because it's made up of my natural fiber of who I am, because I'm only a podcaster because I have the platform. They've created all the processes for me to speak and for people to be entertained and listen, hopefully, or educated. But I believe that education in this situation is the word that I would use. I think that, the Apostle Paul was always seeking to educate himself more. I'm not necessarily advocating for private education or university or things like that. I just think that there again, a more educated person makes a more informed decision. And a lot of times that happens through experience. But just the same way as I tell my son, I'm like, you know why discipline's so necessary, son? It's because if I see you going toward an outlet as a child with a fork, I'm going to knock that out of your hand, not because I want to inflict some kind of pain, but because I want accountability and protection. I feel obligated to protect you. So education to me matters. And I tell my son that all the time, you get to learn from my failures, but you have to listen, or you have to be stubborn like I did and go out and learn for yourself. And when you go out and learn for yourself, don't get me wrong, it sticks. The message sticks, but man, it costs so much more. It costs so much more than to just listen to somebody and put into good practices things that work, because they're trying to tell you, don't go this route. I've been there. It lands you here. It's the same thing you're doing in sales. You're teaching people, don't go here. I've been there. I've done that. This is a failed experiment, right? But here's the keys to success. All you've got to do is put down ego and walk into it. And you can learn from all my failures. You get it for half the price of what it cost me. And that's why I've told my son and my daughter, I was like, you guys will go far beyond whatever I've ever done. I've went farther than my parents. And I'm like, my goal is to make it so that you're more successful than me, whether that be spiritually, emotionally, financially, whatever it is. I want you to do better. That's my whole goal in life is for you to do better. So education, and Lord help them. I hope they listen, Chris, but
and then one more question for you, and this one's a little bit more personal one. So, sure. I want you to think back to your moment of, if you've ever had one, or whenever you felt that you were at your lowest, kind of like rock bottom, doubt, embarrassment, just all the worst things that you could think about yourself, right? That moment. What would you tell what would you go back now and tell yourself if you could whisper in your ear, then your future self, like, what would you tell yourself that you learned through that whole process, so that everyone here listening, because I know that a lot of people go through these failures sometimes and they're unmotivated and they start to doubt their abilities and they start to use the words, well, I want to be realistic, because they don't think that they could accomplish bigger things. But then you look back on it, you're like, I should have thought different. So that's like, what would you tell yourself at that moment?
This question's so good. It's so personal. It's so real. And I actually kind of addressed this. I've spent 3 years. March would be the start of the 4th year of this podcast that I never intended to make money off of, right? I just started doing this thing because I loved it, and it turned into these other things, right? It'd be the start of the 4th year, but it validates me in a lot of ways, because I love doing what I do. I love the podcast. I love communicating, networking. And there was a time, and I haven't talked about this for 3 years. And it's so funny because I talk about it on a podcast, and I'm not sure if that one's going to come out before this one or not. So I have to be careful about how I answer this, but I'll just answer it the same way I did then. There was just a time where I just could not find satisfaction in career. I've been married to my high school sweetheart. We got together at 15, married at 19. I'm 43. We've raised a family. Like, I've seen more financial success than either one of my parents. I mean, my dad never made more than $10 an hour, and my mom never made more than $7 an hour. Right. And so, like, we grew up kind of, without, and it was always embarrassing to see others do well and think, why can't we? So, like, but they drove into my psyche that working hard was the answer, that you just need to get up every day and you need to work hard, because, like, hard work can outwork talent. A lot of times talented people are lazy, but a hard worker can always keep going. So, like, I believe that. And I think there's some truth to that, but it was a little different for their generation than mine. There's so many tools that are available now that you can call on and use that can excel you beyond your education. You might not need, look at so many people in the Amish and Mennonite community. 8th grade education is typically pretty standard. Like, these guys are killing it. They're doing amazing. And they're so much more. And I think that there's a dance between education and hard work. My lowest point, man, I literally went through it, was, basically in a depression because I could not find happiness in my career. I was bouncing around from one job to the next, wasn't satisfied, and didn't feel like the father or the husband I needed to be. And a lot of people don't realize how much that wreaks havoc on you as a man, or at least it did me, because I felt very responsible for being successful, but then I also felt responsible for being like a good dad. I wanted to be a good husband. I wanted to be a good coworker. I wanted to be a good friend. I wanted to be all of these things. And I felt like I was failing, and it was, creating a depression that I didn't realize was happening in my life. And I just remember feeling useless. And I even told somebody, I told my mother I felt useless. And my mother was like, no, don't ever say that. If I could go back, well, this is tough. If I could go back, for me, the question becomes, what would I tell myself? I would tell myself, and this is maybe more spiritual in nature than what I expected to answer the question, but that you are enough. You cannot allow yourself to get to the point to where you think you're so worried about what everyone thinks. Is he successful? Oh, he's not perfect. On my best days, I've got critics, Chris. On my best days, when I've done my best job, when I've completely laid my heart out on the table and done something that was completely unselfish, I have critics. I can't make everyone happy, and you will kill yourself trying to. I was doing a good job then, but I allowed doubt to get into my mind to think that who I was and what I was doing wasn't good enough. And I think you have to shake loose of the shackles that people put on you, because you're always going to have them. Even when you're doing your best, you're going to have a hater.
Yeah.
There's just nothing you can do about it. So, like, I would tell myself, you're enough. I would tell myself, you're capable. And I'd tell myself, you're doing a good job. Sometimes you just got to stay the course, man. Some of your successes are right around the corner whenever you quit. And how many times did I quit before I found success and now I really feel like I found something that validated me. What you said earlier, you said, I don't know if I'm ever going to quit working because I love doing this. I'm always going to focus on what I love to do now. And then I'm going to let money come secondary to that. And I think it finds you. I really do. I've talked about my financial success on this show and how it started out and where it was. And, probably since the last time I talked, it's doubled. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm saying that with humility. Like, I appreciate that, and I don't want to abuse that. So yeah, I would tell myself you're enough, man. And I would tell whoever's listening, if you get in that, get out of it, bro. You're enough. You're enough. You're worthy. You're doing a good job. You're probably doing better than you think.
Hey man, thank you. And I know it's a deep question. I love the way you answered it. And I want to second what you said. Whoever's listening to that, man, remember that, man. You are enough. You're worth it, and stay the course. I know it's tough. Keep pushing. Keep training. I'm a laid back guy. I am professional. I am strict. I am aggressive, but I'm super laid back, man. Like once we kick back, we started saying jokes. I mean, I'm just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But I also know, that where I am and how I need to help people. That's true. And one thing that you said hit me hard recently. I've started getting, I guess my name's been out there a lot more within a lot of different industries, especially in the shed industry. So with more responsibility comes more critics, right? And I told my wife, I said, people started, criticizing me, saying I'm this, I'm that. I think one time someone, someone accused me of being sexist or something, and my wife said, "What?" And I said, "Look, man." I said, that's what I heard, or someone wrote that down or something. They said you, and I said, and then I said, but why? I said, well, I think the reason was I was giving a speech and I kept referring to people as they or him, but I thought in the English language, that's the way that you're supposed to refer to. I mean, I think that's the proper way. I said, regardless, I said, it hurts because they don't know me. I mean, if and I know we're done with the podcast, but if people knew me, okay, I was raised with a single mother. I have an older sister, okay. My pops, walked out on us when I was 6 months, so my sister was 2 years and a half, and whatever. Okay, sad story. Yeah, sad story. We don't have to get into that. But I was raised by my mother, a strong woman. The only male figure I had was an uncle, but he was always working. And I grew up with my mom, my sister, my aunt, and my 3 girl cousins. Now I live with my wife. I live with my daughter, okay, and her family. It's my mother-in-law and her sister. And every time I speak, and the people who know me, man, I'm all about, women and, them having the opportunities. That's a big reason. So Kobe Bryant was my favorite athlete ever. And, he's big on making sure women have the equality and things like that. So I even love that about him too. But my wife told me that day, and I remember it hit me for like 3 days. I was just like, my face, she's like, Chris, get over it. You're not. I was like, I know I'm not, but I don't know why people are thinking that way. But like you're saying, man, like I just have to be true to myself, and if people are going to talk, they're going to talk, and that's okay. My mentors have a lot of critics, right? But sometimes I think that people say things, but they don't understand the full picture. But like you said, and I love your answer, you're enough, man. You're worth it. And you're doing the right things as long as that's true. So,
and the steeper, the steeper the mountain, the steeper the mountain, the fewer the footing. The view at the top is think about it, man. It's a lot of people at the base of the mountain, but the more success you have, the less feet can fit. And I promise you, the ones that are below are always going to be the critics, but the people up at the top are never going to be criticizing. They're going to say, come on, you can make it. There's a way to get there. Yeah. I did it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, you are enough. That's it, man. I appreciated this. I just enjoyed this today so much. If there's any of it that you want me to take out, I'll definitely take out. Me and my wife would be mindful of editing, those kinds of things. But I did want to get you saying a goodbye, kind of thing, or, if people need to reach out to you or want to reach out to you. So I want to give you that chance here.
Can I also add like the thank you, because I do want to thank you too.
Yeah, go for it.
So I'll do that now. So man, thank you so much for the opportunity. It means the world to me to be able to have people understand who I am. Again, my name is Chris Pittman. I run Pittman Academy. I'm a big part of Shed University. I've been in the industry for 5+ years, helped a lot of different companies in the industry, individuals, business owners, and as a team. I will continue to do the exact same thing. When you guys need to get a hold of me, because I know you guys will need to get a hold of me, the best number for you guys to do that is 323-552-8493. Say it again, because I'm trained to. 323-552-8493. Send me an email at pittman@pittmanacademy.com, and we'll be in contact. I will be at the next, is it the garage shed? What's the proper way to say it? I just want to say it right.
I always say GCSB, garage shed, carport builder, GSC.
Garage shed, carport builder will be there with the Shed U.
Yeah, so. Perfect. You'll be in for a good treat. You come see Chris. Appreciate you so much being on the show. Maybe we'll do this like once a year or something, man. We'll just get on here and
I love it.
We'll solve the world's problems.
I love it. I love it, man. Hey, again, guys, thank you so much. I'll be seeing you guys soon. I hope to shake a lot of hands here the next month. Work with a lot of you guys. Hey, let's make 2024 the best year ever, man. I know you guys can. Let's go.
I love it.
Hey, this is Mo Lunsford in sunny Union Grove, North Carolina. I'm here at the Union Grove Lumber Studios, and we want to say thank you to all the guests and listeners. If you have an idea, let us know. Thanks.